Hello guys, welcome back to Harman Art TV. In today's video I thought I'd just talk about what I'm up to at the moment. So we're currently in Scotland in Cove Park, or the Cove Park. I think it's a natural reserve. Yeah, I'm here for about I think it's roughly about just under a week, 5 days, 6 days. It's myself and my wife both staying at a residency here. I mean, as you can see, it's pretty isolated. So you got like the lock over there, but it's very close to the residency. The residency is like further down that way, and we just came here because it's the only shop in the area, which is about an hour's walk from where we're based at the residency. But we're just using this time just to have a bit of a refresh and think about new ideas. So we just came here to observe the landscape, and and we bought our sketchbooks and things, and to just observe the landscape, be surrounded by the landscape, and make drawings of observations, to think about new ideas and trying to shift those ideas, maybe think about shifting some of these ideas into new artworks for when we get back to England, just to get a bit of a step back and be in a new space and see something different, experience something different, and think about new works going forward into 2022. As you can see, you got sheep around, lots of sheep. We saw some Highland cow. They're really big, hairy, I don't know what you call it, beasts. Well, they don't really look harmful. They actually look pretty peaceful, but they've got like these long horns, and so we saw two of those. But yeah, it's a really quiet space, a really isolated space in a way. And it's like another world up here. I just, can't believe it. Just it took us 1 hour by plane to get here from Bristol, and it's like another world up here. Just very tranquil, peaceful, this kind of rugged, hilly landscapes, and like small mountains, and you can see a little bit of snow at the top. So I'll show you. This is Loch Long, but it's interesting because we saw some submarines here, or one submarine. So I think they have some military bases dotted around this area. UK bases, Navy, I think it was. I think, yeah, because we saw when we were with a taxi driver, a taxi delivered us to this area, and he said there were a couple of Navy bases around here, so maybe that's it. But yeah, it was really strange seeing them because we saw them it was kind of like submerged underneath the water, and at first I thought it was like a boat, and then we got closer and realised it was a submarine, so that was quite interesting. But yeah, it's definitely worth coming here. Just the landscape is so nice. Yeah, so these are the drawings I'm working on during this short residency. And what I've been doing is just collecting objects from the natural landscape around this area. And I noticed there's lots of moss and ferns, and you might be able to see some of it out there. There's just so much of this moss and ferns that I've been collecting these objects and then taking drawings, and just, I don't know, I think just thinking about things like, the memory of the object and the space and the time, and then been looking at the reflections cast from these objects onto this glass table, and then try and record that. And just thinking about that kind of intersection between the real object and the non-real object, like the reflection, that kind of interspace between the real and the unreal. And just trying to, and then thinking about, just, and then just kind of recording that and get a new kind of fresh perspective on things, I guess. Yeah, because you never really know how these things play out. I mean, I guess you could look at it and go, I just kind of taken myself out of my usual studio and put myself into this unnormal environment and trying something new, and then kind of seeing what kind of happens with that and seeing what ideas come out of that and out of this space. So yeah, that's the progress so far. That's a fern, or what was a fern. And I've just been drawing things like this. I don't know if you could just about tell from the image. So the building behind me is our accommodation, and that's where we're staying at the moment. So it's just made up these little kind of shipping containers. So the accommodation has a kitchen, toilet, obviously a bed and sofa. So everything's there. It's pretty convenient. There's no internet in these accommodation, in the accommodations. So the main building is just up there, and that's like a communal space, and that's so if you want to use the internet, if you're an artist looking to do a residency here, if you want to use the internet, you'd have to go to the communal area up there to use it, because in the accommodation there's no internet unless you bring your own internet service with you. Maybe you can bring a radio. That might be quite useful if you're coming here by yourself and you don't have any company. But yeah, it's just a very isolated space, very peaceful, and lots of nature around. And I think we just took it just to get a kind of retreat, to get away from the madness of I don't want to say urban life maybe, and just find some peace and think about new ideas and think about the future. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why we came here, and just to observe the landscape and through drawings, through video, through photos, and but yeah, it's if you're looking for a quiet space, maybe this could be the place for you if you're an artist looking to have some quiet space and get away from it all. But that's mainly for accommodation, and there are some studios dotted around just down there. So how did I apply for this place? We just applied online, and it was a pretty straightforward process. You just fill out an application form, and then I just detailed my plan for what I was going to do during this period of time. So the application is pretty straightforward, and it's just done online. You just go to the Cove Park website. So there's two applications. There's one application which is a fully funded one, and then there's the subsidised application which is partially funded. So we're taking myself and my wife taking the subsidised funded one. So it's one that we've had to fund ourselves, but it's I think it's they call it subsidised, or they call it like partially funded. So it's like funded by it's partially funded by other people. So yeah, those are the two applications you can apply for. Yeah, so I'm back from the residency now from Scotland, and yeah, this is just these are the finished results. So in total I created 16 pencil drawings, yeah, just observing objects from the natural landscape over there. And yeah, and that's what I set out to do really in the residency. I just set out to record the objects in the landscape and just to think about new ideas and to get me thinking in a kind of fresh way. And so it's quite interesting just observing those natural objects, you know, things like fern and leaves and stones and you know what, it just really got me thinking about the nature of reality, how objects kind of deteriorate over time, and it got me thinking about the nature of time and how this is revealed in the object, whether that's like a leaf and then, you know, like a fern looking at the shadow, or whether that's looking at another fern or leaf and trying, you know, capturing its kind of deterioration taken out of the landscape and looking at its shadow. And so I think that's what these drawings got me to think about, is like, you know, how you see an object, you know, thinking about its reflection and its existence in the space. And some of the drawings I added like another space behind it, like this one, or like this one here. And I was just thinking about space, and I was thinking about, you know, trying to represent a space to enter. There's almost like a spiritual kind of sense to it, or some kind of unknown, or so that was quite interesting, just fusing my own kind of unreal kind of ideas into these drawings. So yeah, that's so all in all 16 pieces that I drew whilst I was in Scotland during the residency. So yeah, that's a wrap for this video. Yeah, so I thought I'd just give you guys an update about what's going on at the moment, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, feel free to like it, and don't forget to check out my Patreon account where you get exclusive content on there. And yeah, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.